So, it's been a while, and well, yeah, about to start doing some fun stuff. We moved in the apartment above, and well, that gives me some more time. It has been time consuming, but now, well, when we're there, it will give me some more time thinking about cars and stuff. So well, yeah, first project I've done, I can't remember if I told you guys in the videos, but anyway, I had a Mercedes S-Class V140 and super turbo diesel. It was the first car that I've built, and yeah, 606 super turbo diesel, like the usual stuff, automatic and all that. So it was a sleeper. I can put a video here. Yeah, sold that about a year ago, and got a Honda Monkey in exchange. It did not look like this, but well, yeah, this is a project I've been doing behind the scenes, and now it runs and drives, and it's actually supposed to look like this. It's a 1983 Jubilee model, so yeah, they made a small quantity of these, about 900 or some, about under 1,000 pieces of these anyhow. So yeah, this isn't exactly as they should look, but the graphics and the paint and everything is right, but the ride height that I made is a little bit lower, so it's a little bit stiff, and I made it the lowest it could go. So, but I have the parts to make it the standard height anytime if I want to, and if anyone wants to buy it. So yeah. Wheels also aren't original, but I have the original wheels also. Other than that, standard engine and everything, semi-automatic, 3-speed, and a nice little cruising moped. So yeah, I have stuff to do to the drifter, but I also want to drop the front and rear subframe out of that car. So I know how, if there is any rust repair I have to do, and test fit the rear wheel drive front subframe, so I know everything fits there, and then put the subframes to sandblasting and order some new parts so I can reassemble the stuff. So I think I spoke about it in the last video, but we'll first do the subframes and everything, because I have to leave the engine in the car, and it hangs on the subframe. Of course, the engine mounts are over there, this one. So well, yeah, the subframe drops, then the engine drops. So I made this little jig and lifted it by the crank pulley, so now the engine is hanging over there, and well, the gearbox transmission have to stay in for now, and I'll just make the subframe first so I can put the engine and rest on that, and then we'll put the manual transmission in after that. So nothing else I'm not going to do anymore. But even though I want to do, but I'll keep it simple for now and just make it running again so it doesn't get left here on jack stands when the summer starts. So yeah, we'll start by removing the old front subframe and yeah.
Let's see how much.
So, yeah, went pretty smooth. I wonder if these axles from VAG concern, because it's the same like outer joint, at least is the same kind when you have the bolt going like that, and it probably works when you screw this in. It's works like a tool at the same time, so you get the CV joint off. But yeah, anyway, it's out. Let's see how the oil pan looks. I just spoke with a guy from southern Finland, I think, who has a new or rear-wheel drive oil pan for me. That is from a rear-wheel drive S-Class or something. Them 112 engine mounts will work, and yeah, it should be nothing else than that to do the rear-wheel drive conversion on the engine itself. So next is to remove oil pan and front differential and drive shaft, front drive shaft at least, and get that down, so we're ready to put the new oil pan in when it gets here. So got the front subframe out and put a rear wheel drive next to it, and as I'm looking at it, they're a little bit different. Of course, I thought the mounting points would be the same, but of course they're not. So yeah, the front ones are the same, but the rear is different, so it's lowered a lot. It's as you can see, well, it's over here on this one, the four-wheel drive, and the chassis is straight and the front mount is there, and here is a place for drive shaft. And in the rear wheel drive, it's just a straight piece. and it just go. Here is the mount on the rear wheel drive. So I think it's the mount is a little bit further back and lower on the four-wheel drive. So I measured and looked that I will have to cut this subframe right. I measured from this pin and we'll cut straight here where the hole is, and then it will line up so it comes here against. So something like that. So I have to build some kind of mount there, but yeah, no big problem. I have to cut that first and look so the engine mounts and everything lines up before I start doing anything. But as I measured the front mounts and it seems like they are on the same place, but I still have to check so everything lines up. So it would be a shame to build this and then to discover that the wheel is 10 centimeters too far back in the wheel well. So yeah, I'll have to do that. And as you can see, it's a lot smaller than the four-wheel drive and the rear-wheel drive. It's the weight difference is pretty big, and it's much heavier, the four-wheel drive. And cast iron suspension parts and stuff. So, and here is the right engine mount. Drive shaft comes here and the engine mount has to go around it. Here are the drive shafts, heavy also, and the front diff I have in a box over here, 20-liter box, so that's pretty big and heavy also. Oil pan is out and everything, so yeah, we'll have to mock up the new subframe and make it fit and test that everything fits, and then send it off to the sand blasting and then paint it and make everything else fit. Some tricky stuff about this is the front suspension, because the 4MATIC system has another type of spring bucket in that is higher up. The two-wheel drive is about here and the spring goes here, but these places doesn't line up on these, so well, then I have to make a coilover, of course, and it will fit pretty good over here, and I think I will use the same hole as for the anti-roll bar. So I will use the same hole to sandwich both the anti-roll bar linkage and the coilover in the same hole, so everything will go there. And yeah, make some covers for the original spring bucket so that is flat, and make it sturdy. Other than that, it doesn't need much. Well, yeah, I would like to be able to drift this car also if I want to, so some small angle mods and but still street drivable, of course. So yeah, maybe shorten the knuckles or cut the knuckles and do some stuff to it to make it steer a little bit better. Yeah, the oil pan and everything is fitting good. Here I have the engine mounts that I use for these cars. I've mentioned in some earlier video when I made the drift car that these engine mounts that is from a Scania truck. Here's the part number for the DT parts. Very cheap and very sturdy, but still doesn't vibrate like straight, like just a metal to metal, of course, but it's very stiff and holds up great. They fit straight into the original lower cup that is on the original Mercedes mounts, so they're pretty simple to put there and look very original. So now here I got some stuff away, and yeah, I'll make a cover plate instead of this and leave a hole over here. This is bushing from the rear lower control arm, so it fits, it's 33 millimeters I think outside diameter, and fits exactly in a 38 mil cage pipe, so 38 with 2.5 millimeter wall thickness, so it should fit in there. So I'll have to make that, but this bushing will fit here, and I drilled a hole through 12 millimeter hole through the sway bar link and mounting place, and went straight through, and it's a little bit it's not straight like parallel with these two bushings, but that's no problem. So that will go here, so I will try to make some kind of hole, and I will make the bolt go through here, so I will weld a washer here instead of this thinner plate, so it will sandwich everything together. So that will work great. I think this will just be covered and like straight plate, and do some grinding on this, but I think that will work great. So I have to make it so it goes up and down with no problems, and make the whole plate so it covers and goes around here. So got everything cut out, and here is the bushing that will go here, and made this paper for so I can make a new, like a so I made this paper cardboard template to get a metal plate to put over here, and but I still have to figure out this hole, so so I know how much space I need for the suspension travel when the coilover gets like this on here. So yeah, I have to make the coilover fit now and try the suspension travel, so so I know how much to take away still there, but otherwise this I think will work great. I have a washer there, so I will weld that and make this of a little bit thicker, I think 3 millimeter steel plate, so and also reinforce it inside so it is a little bit sturdier, and yeah. So and I have to get some pipe to fit on the bushing, and start getting it to the coilover to fit, so I know where it will go next. So I made a mount for the coilover, pretty it was a pretty complex part to make, but well, it's just steel, but anyway, a lot of measurements and looking so it would fit all right when I put it in place. A lot of angles to take note of and everything, but this is how it looks now. See if we'll got the coilover in place, and it is in line with the upper hole, everything, and here it is in place. Have to make a plate to cover all this, but now it's mocked up as it should be, and this is a little bit lower than the driver height maybe, and you got a lot of travel to go still, and maybe have to put some bump stops, and will fit a pretty good spring in there, like a full-length spring in there, and everything. So yeah, I think this will work good. And also I left the anti-roll bar mounts on the coilover, so I can make it in line with the standard coil anti-roll bar mount, but I think I will make it to fit over there instead, and then that will don't build up as much, because that is when you have removed all the other bump stops, the bump stop will get there when you have the the anti-roll bar bolt will be the bump stop eventually, when you start adding some angle and removing all the other bump stops. So yeah, I think I'll put it over there, and yeah, but angles looks good, and as I said, this is ride height, so I think this will work great. So here is a wheel for mock-up purpose. Camber won't be that much better, as you can see, about ride height, and I think it will look pretty good and should be drivable and everything. And of course I have an adjustment so I can lift it if I want to, but I would like it to be somewhere around here, and yeah, and of course the 3-spoke wheels, and